Hi guys, Peter Finch here, now at the Quest Golf Academy, and today we're going to be talking about how you can hit a more successful three-quarter golf shot. This is a question which I get asked quite a lot, and on the face of it, you would imagine that a three-quarter golf shot is relatively simple. It's just a shortened version of the full swing. However, there are some things that you need to make sure that you are doing slightly differently than a full swing technique. Now, first of all, there is something that you need to get right in your own mind. And this may sound silly, but a lot of people do go about it this way. The whole point of a three-quarter shot is to gain more control over the ball flight. It is to gain more control over the ball flight and to gain more control over the strike. It is not an exercise in just trying to hit it the same distance but lower. Okay, it's not that. I mean, you do get a lot of people who will get set up to a ball over, say, a 150-yard shot with a 7-iron and say, okay, I normally hit my 7-iron 150 yards. I now need to keep this ball a little bit lower, so I'm going to have a three-quarter shot, and they end up with a shorter backswing, but exactly the same length as through swing, and they wonder why they can't quite control the trajectory of the shot. A three-quarter shot will give you less distance. So that's the first thing to get through. That is the first thing to make sure that you guys all understand and are all on board with. Now, what are the differences between a three-quarter swing technique and a full swing technique? Because this is where you need to start making the adaptations and making the changes. Now, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit a full swing away and then just talk you through some of the changes. And there'll be lots of different angles coming up of this as well. But when I get it set up for a full swing, I've got my 7-iron here. My ball position is just forward of centre. My feet are about shoulder width apart. My left toe is out. My right toe is also slightly out. My weight distribution is nice and even. And my sternum position here is just behind the ball. It's just behind the ball. That's because of where I've put the ball position in my stance. Now from here, what will happen is I will turn back fully with a full shoulder rotation, transferring my weight onto my right knee, then moving it back through till my sternum position is pretty much over the ball, and then swinging through to a nice full finish. Obviously lots of different things in between, but that's what I'm generally thinking when I'm hitting this full shot. So I'm getting set up, I'm having that nice full backswing, and that nice full follow through. Not the greatest shot I've ever hit. Absolutely smashed that one. So 1.4 from the inside, 0.3 close to that with the face. So it's ended up as a little draw, and I've pumped that up to 170 yards. I struck that pretty damn well. Now, here's where the differences start to come in. Because with a shorter shot and with a shorter swing, there are certain aspects of the full swing that you can't do. So you can't transfer the weight as effectively. You can't transfer the weight as effectively. You won't be able to hit it as far, but it will go a little bit lower. Now those are the things to consider, but you also need to say, well, how can I change my swing, change my technique so I don't hit bad shots, knowing those are the changes which are actually going to befall the golfer when he tries to hit a three-quarter swing. Now first of all, when I was getting set up there with my normal 7-9 shot, the ball position was just forward of centre. Now what I'm going to do with a three-quarter shot is I'm going to move it to the centre of my stance. That's because I'm not going to have enough time to transfer my weight fully through the ball because it's a shorter swing technique. If I try and transfer my weight as much as I was with a full swing, I won't be able to do as effectively. So ball position is going to be moving back towards the centre, so my sternum position is over the ball to begin with. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a little bit more weight on my front foot, only 60%, but that again is going to allow me to transfer that weight. Now this is where some differences also come in, because with a full shot, I have time to rotate my hips more fully. Now with a three-quarter shot, I might not have that same time. Now this is up to individual preference, but I'm going to open up my stance very, very slightly for this three-quarter shot to help me clear the hips through a little bit easier. So I'm going to get set up with that ball position pretty much now in the middle of my stance. I'm going to open up my feet very slightly, and then I'm going to put about 60% of weight on my front foot. What I'm not going to do, however, is open up my shoulder alignment. My shoulders are still going to stay nice and parallel to the target line. So I'm going to get set up, that little bit of weight forward, the hands ahead, my sternum position is now on top. Now as far as my swing length, I'm not going to get too technical about it. I'm not going to be thinking, oh, I need to lift my arms to certain positions. All I'm going to be doing is just feeling like it's a three-quarter swing. Just feeling and trusting like it's a three-quarter swing. I am not a fan, especially when you get out onto the golf course. It's slightly different on the range scenario. But when you get out onto a golf course of thinking, oh, I need to get my left arm to this position, to that position, do that on the range. But when you're out on a course and when you're actually hitting shots, just feel like it's that three-quarter swing length. So it's that three-quarter swing length, back and through, that weight slightly forward, hips open, feet open, shoulders square, ball position in the middle of the stance, three-quarter swing back and through. It's that lower shot, and that's going to come out significantly less distance. So it's come out a lot lower. Total distance 150 yards. Path 4.3 from the inside with the face close to that path as well. Now just notice, as that ball position is going further back in my stance, my angle of attack will start to increase. As my angle of attack starts to increase, my dynamic loft will get lower. So the ball is going to start off lower because the swing speed isn't as great, it's not going to carry as far. So you've got that contrast between the shot, which goes high and which carries a long, long way, to one which goes lower and doesn't carry as far. But because you've got more control over dynamic loft, because you're striking down slightly more, you're going to have a little bit more control over the overall trajectory. And this is why you see that three-quarter shot being played so much in windy conditions. So guys, hope that helps you get a little bit more of a concept, the difference between the full swing and the three-quarter swing. Very simple differences that you can then make in your technique, and it will give you differences in overall ball flight. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on my other social media platforms as well, and we will see you down here next time.